Welcome to InConversation. I'm Anisha Abraham.
I'm Aastha Verma.
I'm Shilpa Alimchandani.
I'm Sonal Verma. Thank you for having us in your homes this morning. Ladies, it's wonderful to be here with you again this year. How has everyone been?
Well, my big news is that I'm pregnant. I'm 6 months pregnant, and we're expecting another boy.
Wonderful.
That means you're going to keep yourself very busy over the next several.
Yes.
You know, this has been a very good year for me, a year of learning, and I think, everyone goes through a point of inflection in their lives, and I truly feel this is my year of inflection, so I'm looking forward to what's next.
Yeah, it is an exciting time of year to be back together again because it is about new beginnings. And we just do this show once a year, the Ladies Holiday Special, so it's nice to get a chance to catch up with all of you.
And we all get to dress up.
That's always fun. That's always
And what
fun.
about you, Sonal?
Well, we've had a very eventful year. Those of you who know that I've been working with my husband for about 9 years, and this past July I just started a new job.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm an associate at Wayne Morris, where I'm in the immigration practice group. And I'm working for 3 of the top lawyers in Washington, D.C. They've been featured in Washingtonian Magazine. And I'm very excited to be working with them and to learn with them, too. Not to be outdone, my husband, Dinesh, has also been selected to be a rising star for the 2nd year in a row this year. So I'm very happy. We're setting up for a very good year ahead as well.
You know, I can completely identify with that. One of the reasons I mentioned it's an inflection point is I've decided to go ahead and start my own business and become my own businesswoman. So it's quite scary but exciting at the same time, and I'm looking forward to what's next.
Wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Well, since it is the holidays, a lot of us are in kind of a spiritual mode in our lives, and it's interesting to note that in the United States, a lot of Christians have taken more interest in Eastern beliefs, like Hindu and Buddhist and sometimes termed New Age beliefs. And it's certainly a shift because I remember growing up, people not having any idea what a Hindu was, let alone what reincarnation meant, and kind of making fun of some of our spiritual practices. But now things like yoga, meditation, all of this are part of everybody's lives. So what do you guys think about that?
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that. There was a study that was in the paper, and it basically said from the Pew Forum that 65% of Christians now believe in New Age and Eastern philosophy. So 1 in 5 people now believe in reincarnation, for example, and 1 in 5 people believe in spiritual energy. So these are, again, a real shift from what we've maybe heard for years and years, and that Christians could incorporate this into their philosophy. I think it's fantastic.
I'm just glad it's not all about just worshiping cows, because I know that was like such a big deal. What is it with us and cows? Well, let me set the record straight on the cow thing, because, when we drink the cow's milk, she takes on a mother figure, and we just simply have chosen as a culture, as a people, to not eat the thing that feeds you, right? So for us, I just think it's as simple as that. People always think, we just sit down and every time a cow shows up, we pray. It's not quite like that. It has to do much more with that. But, to share in that sentiment, I have a coworker. He's a Carolite Christian, just like you are, and he shared with me the funniest thing. At least I thought it was funny. He talked about going Christmas caroling. So I said, well, do you sing Christmas carols like the one I grew up singing in school? And he said, well, not exactly. They're actually Malayali carols, but they've actually fashioned them after Bollywood music. If you can imagine a group of carolers being out there singing Christmas carols fashioned after Bollywood music with Malayali lyrics, in my mind, I thought that was the greatest thing ever.
I think that's a reflection of globalization. We've heard about globalization and technology and the economy and all that, but I think this is, an uncertain time in our lives, and everyone's reaching out to some sort of spiritual reflection, and we're all influenced by the people around us. We all work with people of different faiths, and that influence is sort of manifesting in this way.
But what they're saying in the study is that it also manifests a certain sense of spiritual openness, and that people with maybe globalization are much more open to different cultures and religions, and they're incorporating it into their tradition. And it's not that they're, again, not focused on their religion, they're just much more open to other
If you think about our president, President Obama had such an interesting history himself. He was born in Hawaii, but he spent time overseas. He was in Indonesia, and he was experiencing the culture there. And, there was a lot of hesitation for some people to accept him into that highest office. Because of his time spent overseas, people question his Americanness. But the reality is he himself has opened the door to people accepting the fact that, you can have varied pasts. You can live in other cultures and traditions and yet be inherently American in your value system.
It's very true. You know, that's also reflected in our entertainment. Recently in Brazil, they had an Indian-themed telenovela that ran 6 days a week for 8 straight months.
What was it about?
It was basically a Romeo and Juliet tale. The protagonist female was of a higher caste and of a higher educated family, and then the protagonist male was of a lower caste. Everyone was a Brazilian actor. Everyone was dressed in Indian clothes, but what I found interesting about the story was they had everything flown in from India. They had a 6,000 square foot lot set up to look like Mumbai, including signs in Hindi and everything. And it was very well done, and they have a very small population of Indian nationals living in Brazil. They harnessed their information in order to create this, and it was one of the best viewed shows ever in Brazil. And now there's this need for everything Indian in Brazil.
Well, you know, I'm not terribly surprised actually at the appeal of a story like this, and of course all of the music and the beautiful costumes and jewelry that everyone admires. All that on the surface, yes, is very Indian and it's appealing. But the story is universal, right?
Right.
The love story, the issue of families not getting along, the issue of power and status in the community, and the pride of the family. All of those things people in cultures all around the world can relate to. So basically, you take that concept that everybody really identifies with and you dress it up Indian style, and you can really do it anywhere.
And the Brazilians know how to dress up, because if you know anything about Brazil, you've heard of Carnival. Right? And you want to see some of the most ridiculous and incredible outfits. I mean, I say that with all sincerity. I have seen some of these pictures firsthand, and it is just incredible. These people really know how to enjoy life in that moment, and I think in that way their culture and the Indian culture really aren't that far apart. I mean, we certainly live it up during our holidays, and they do the same thing.
And having been to Brazil, I would say that they also love dancing, which we do, and there's certainly a love of family, so I think there's a lot of similarity between Brazilians and Indians.
Well, ladies, I have to talk about this because I've been dying to talk about it with all of you, because when I read it, I just thought it was funny, but at the same time so true. There is a story in the New York Post about outsourcing love. Now, I know you ladies are married, but for the ones that are single of us out there and who work 8, 10, 12 hours a day with our jobs, you know, sometimes you're too tired to get on eHarmony or Shadi.com or Chemistry.com. There's so many sites. How do you know where to go, and what if you need help? Well, a lot of Indians have gotten smart. There are companies in India now who specialize in being your own personal